Hey there folks, and welcome back to Skullmonkeys. Today, Skullmonkeys brand hot dogs. Now, Skullmonkeys brand hot dogs tend to focus more on the stop portion of stop and go. As you can see pointed out here, and it will show up more and more throughout the whole level. A lot of this level is just waiting for platforms to appear for you to jump on, in this case them being meat-shaped or half sausage-shaped or this weird root thing that also pops up. It's a very annoying level just because of how long the waiting times are for these things to come up sometimes. And yes, that is a piranha plant, not quite. They are called pipe cleaners. They will not go away if you stand on top of pipes, but they will give you a bit of warning and stick your tongue out if you do that. And there's a secret there. Actually, there's two secrets on top of each other. And that was just to show off that you can stand in the water and not die if you have the halo. But yes, this level is chock full of secrets. This section of the level specifically has 5, I believe? And considering how open this whole area is, they kind of cram them all into the same place. We've already picked up, I believe, 4 out of 5 secrets in this level. Actually, I think this level has 6 secrets, now that I think about it. Either way, we have test pilots. Those are those guys in the jetpacks. They are just floating enemies. Obviously, kind of hard to make enemies that stand on the ground here, so they have little floating guys to get in your way. And there's gross hot dog water stuff down below. I'm not too fond of the gross out factor of this level, to be honest with you. And there's a swirly queue. So this first section is not too bad, and with the waiting and things like that, the stuff you stand on does move kind of slow. This is a weird root thing, I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be. But there, kind of have to remember that you need to jump off of it, otherwise you will take a hit. They also give you copious amounts of halos, just in case you lose yours by falling in or getting bitten. I would like to point out that the pipe cleaners will stick out their tongues if you're next to the pipe to show you that they're coming. If you are not standing next to the pipe, they will come without any sort of warning, which makes them a little tricky to deal with sometimes, because you kind of have to suspect every pipe to be full of enemies. Not sure why there's open wiring in this hot dog factory, but whatever. And there we go, yet another secret here. That's number 6. By the way, these levels have 7 secrets total, so there's one more secret in this whole entire section. And now we're going overboard with the pipe cleaners. This section's actually not too bad. There's no floating chunks of meat that you have to stand on or anything, so you can kind of move along at your own pace. And that was just to get that swirly queue, and I lost that halo, so not good. But as I said, you have to suspect every upwards opening pipe of having a pipe cleaner in it, and most of them do. They also will sometimes bite Klayin even when he's not standing on the pipe, but just standing near it. The hitboxes are really weird, and it gets really annoying. But overall, that is pretty much all there is to these levels. They don't really get all that much different. And that's the last secret there. To find that one, you have to miss this jump on purpose. Although, in my opinion, so far, this is going to be the hardest set of jumps in the game that we've encountered. The timing on these is actually very tight, because you have to land on those flying monkey guys, the test pilots, just at the right time, otherwise Klayin will either get hurt or knocked off or miss. And what's our reward for all this? Just another life. No secret, nothing like that, just a life. Not really worth those jumps, considering just how many times I had to practice those to get those just right. And that is it for section 2 of this level. Let's move on to the dreaded section 3. This is where they decide that they didn't put enough slow-moving sections, and decide to slow you down a bit more. Random popcorn skulls for no reason whatsoever. And now we wait for different things to stand on. So here, I'm not sure why they gave you 2 logs to stand on. You kind of want that swirly queue there. And there's a tiny bit of a trap here if you stand on the top one, I guess. You can't really get hit by this guy, but on the bottom one. Those guys are called fork shooters, I believe. And instead of those big old snowballs, like the snow blows shoot, they shoot forks. They're just there to get in your way. So the game does start to mix things up a little bit, as you can see that the things you have to float on move a little faster, and it does get a little harder to deal with them, but they only do it about twice. And the rest of the time they're just as slow as ever. And more memorization that you have to jump off one and jump on the other. And as I said, it's some sort of tuber looking thing there. I'm not quite sure what it is or what it has to do with hot dogs. And since we missed our ride, we have to wait, and wait, and wait. So wait so long that Klayin grew a flower from his fart nozzle. And then we wait for one more. Now some of these monkeys are positioned in such a way where you kind of have to kill them to move on, and in some cases you really don't. You just have to remember which ones are necessary to kill and not. You don't really want to risk jumping on them, especially if you don't have a halo. And even the music in this level is kind of boring, to be honest with you. It has a little surfer vibe to it, but not that great. Anyway, bonus stage. So this bonus room has a lot of tight jumps here to make it to the last part of it, which has a lot of goodies. If you do come in here with a halo, you do get a second chance, but if you fall off, usually you will not make it to another pipe to jump on. If you do make it to the end, they give you a ton of lives and stuff. And now it's time for our second boss fight. Welcome to Joehead Joe. Joehead Joe is probably one of my favorite looking bosses in this game. It is modeled after one of the developers. I believe his name was Joe Sanabria. And he is a very simple boss and a very boring boss. He shoots fireballs and tosses eyes at you. I believe the joke is he does fire and ice attacks. Either way, and sometimes he'll burp up a blue ball, like that. But you can just shoot him 5 times with your bullets and he dies. So that's it for Skullmonkeys brand hot dog factory, and I will see you folks next time.